Sir, would you state your full name?
Gion Jackson.
Could you spell your first name
Gion.
and your last name, sir?
Jackson, Jackson.
How old are you?
26.
And where do you live?
Belgrade, Florida.
How long have you lived there?
I was actually born and raised, and I moved for a couple of years, and I moved back.
Okay. Did you go to school in Belglade?
High school, yes.
And what high school did you go to?
Glade Central.
And when you were at Glade Central High School, did you, well, let me ask you this. Did you know an individual, or do you know an individual by the name of Oscar Hernandez?
Yes, sir.
How do you know him?
Just from around at the school. He only went to the school for 1 year, but just knew him from the same friends. That's about it.
And were you in the same grade or different grades?
Different grades.
Okay. Was he older or younger than you?
Younger.
How many years younger?
Honestly, I don't know. Probably a year or two.
Okay. And did you, after you knew him in high school, did you stay in touch with him over the years?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you still remain in contact with him?
Now or?
Now.
No, sir.
When is the last time you've had any contact with him?
Since since this incident.
Okay. And this incident meaning is that June of 2013?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you know Oscar Hernandez's mother?
Yes.
What is her name?
I don't know her name. I just know her just from going to her house, because she cooks, and we just watch a couple of football games.
Okay. When you say you'd watch football games, is that with Oscar?
Yes.
Okay. When is the last time you saw his mother?
Just now.
Okay. And prior to this today, when is the last time you saw her?
Probably a couple of days ago.
Okay. And where did you see her?
By our house.
All right. And had you gone by the house?
Actually, I was just riding by, and I stopped by and just seen her.
Okay. When you said you just seen her, did you see her out in the yard, or was she in the home?
No, she was in the home.
And how was it that, or what caused you to go visit on that date?
Just riding by, just checked on her.
Okay. When was the last time you checked on her before that?
I'd say a couple of months.
Okay. And the last time that you spoke to Oscar Hernandez has been more than a year?
Yeah, it's been more than a year.
Almost 2 years?
Yes.
Okay. Now, going back to April of 2013, did you see him, Oscar Hernandez, regularly?
Not regularly, no.
Just describe the nature of your relationship at that time.
I mean, we were just associates. We didn't hang out like that because I work, so majority of my time I work probably 10 to 16 hours a day, so when I see Oscar, it's probably like on a weekend or on some downtime, never really like just no everyday kind of thing.
Okay. Now, do you recall there being a Super Bowl party in February of 2013?
Yeah.
And do you know where that party was held?
It was at a lounge called Banyan Tree.
Okay. And did you go to that party?
No, sir.
And at some point in April 16th of 2013, do you recall going to True Value Hardware Store?
Yes, sir.
And what was your purpose in going there on that date?
I was just going to just purchase a handgun.
Okay. And what kind of personal handgun were you interested in?
Something a little smaller, because the first gun I got was kind of heavy and kind of large, so I was just deciding I wanted something a little smaller.
Okay. And the first gun that you had, was that a 9mm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you described getting a gun that would be smaller, what type of gun were you interested in?
Just something real small, like I can really I just wanted it small. I didn't want nothing the size of the 9mm that I had because it was very heavy and it didn't fit in the holster that I have. So I just wanted something basically just small.
Okay. When you say small, what was your purpose in getting a small gun?
Purchasing a small gun because my neighborhood, crime rate hadn't went up. There's a lot of bad behavior going on, like a lot of kids doing a lot of killing and shooting and stuff like that. And I mean, just needed something just for protection. Well, something was to occur.
Okay, so what kind of, did you get a gun on that date?
Yeah, I got the 22.
Okay, and what type of 22 did you get?
Don't recall, it was a small 22.
And did you indicate you got a smaller gun because you had a holster? I'm sorry, I didn't understand before. You had mentioned you had a holster.
For my first gun, for my 9, it was the holster was too big. So whenever I put it in the holster, it would just slip out or fall out. So it didn't make sense to even carry a holster for that gun. So I just never really carried it around.
Okay. So as a result, you decided to get a smaller gun?
Yes, sir.
And as a result of that, you got a 22?
Yes, sir.
And just describe that gun, if you would.
What you mean by describing it, sir?
Just tell us, what did it look like?
It was about this small.
And just, if you could, you're holding up your fingers. What is that distance approximately between your fingers?
I'd say like 15 or probably 15 centimeters. I can't really tell you.
Okay.
It was really small.
Okay. Could you fit it in the palm of your hand?
Yeah,
What color was it?
black.
Okay. Do you recall it being silver?
I can't recall.
Okay. Now, do you recall purchasing that on April 16th?
Yes, sir.
And when you purchased it on that date, can you just tell us what did you have to do to purchase it?
Just have to get the guy your concealed weapons license, like your driver's license. And after that, they take it to the front desk and they have it in a little box. Then I think you sign like a sign a form. Pretty much after that, you get to pay for it and you get to go.
Okay. And did you fill out all the paperwork that was necessary?
Yes, sir.
Did you provide identification?
Yes, sir.
And ultimately, did you pay for that firearm?
Yes.
How much did you pay, if you recall?
Roughly under $200.
Okay. And do you recall where you got the money for that? How were you able to pay for that?
I had my own cash, sir.
Okay. Thank you. You're on the approach. I'm just going to show you this photograph. Ask you if you recognize this individual.
Yes, sir.
Who do you recognize that to be?
Oscar
And that's Oscar, what's his last name?
Hernandez.
Okay, is this, if I said, is this a friend of yours, would you characterize him as a friend?
Sure.
I'm sorry?
Sure, yes.
Okay. And now, on the date, and just for the purpose of the record, that's Exhibit 393. On the date of April 16th, when you, prior to going to the True Value hardware, did you have any phone conversation with anybody?
Sure. I mean, I talked to a lot of people, but yeah, I had phone conversations.
Okay. Do you remember one of the people that you were talking to that day before you went to the gun store was Oscar Hernandez?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall, as a result of that conversation, did you express an intention to meet with him?
No, sir.
Okay. It's how long after the conversation, do you recall how many times you spoke to him on that date?
No, I can't recall.
Okay, was it more than once?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay. Sometime after speaking with him, do you recall seeing him later that day?
Yeah.
And where did you see him?
I see him at the True Value store.
Okay. And had you made any plan to see him there?
No, we didn't make plans.
I'm sorry?
No, we didn't make plans.
Nobody made plans. So when you saw him, just tell us, where did you see him?
I seen him at the True Value store.
Was that inside the store?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And where was he when you saw him?
I'm in the store. He was just in the store. Like, he's probably like in the back somewhere. When I walked in, he was like in the back somewhere.
Okay. Just tell us, there's a section for the sale of guns in that True Value hardware store.
Yeah.
Where is that, sir?
Like in far back on the right-hand side.
Okay. And just in relation to that area, do you recall where you saw Oscar Hernandez?
No, sir. He probably was by the clerk or in that area in the back.
Okay. Was that near the firearm section?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so when you first saw him, where were you?
I was like probably walking past like the appliances or something like that. I was walking in the store and I was like probably walking past the appliances and stuff like that.
Okay. And were you surprised to see him?
Oh, no, not really, no.
Okay. Now, did you have a conversation with him at that time?
Yeah.
And did you have any conversation with him about a particular type of firearm? Okay. Just yes or no, did he say anything to you?
No,
Just
sir.
yes or no, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, so he didn't say anything?
No, sir.
Did you have any conversation?
So we had a conversation.
Okay. And how long did you have a conversation?
About 10, 15 minutes.
Okay. And during that time, do you remember the subject matter of your conversation?
Sustain.
Did you just yes or no, did he ask you to do something?
No, sir.
Overall.
I'm sorry, sir, you can answer.
No, sir.
Okay. So after 10 or 15 minutes of talking, did you do something?
Actually, we was talking to the guy, the clerk, and I had got a 22 handgun. That's when I told him I wanted this handgun.
Okay. And you said we were talking to the clerk. Who's we?
Like me and Oscar.
I'm sorry?
Me and Oscar.
Okay. And as a result of that conversation, did you ultimately buy a firearm?
Yes.
And what kind of firearm did you buy?
22.
And you've described the 22, that being a small one?
Yes.
Sir, if I could approach, Your Honor. So I'm just going to show you what's been marked 184. This gun has been secured without any clip or ammo. Do you recognize this item?
Yes.
And what do you recognize this to be?
22.
I'm sorry, it's a 22?
Yeah, 22.
And have you ever seen a 22 like this before?
You mean in hand or just?
Just what I'm showing you here, have you ever seen
yes,
something that looks like this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and just when have you seen something like this?
And you seen on TV, I seen at other gun stores, like that.
Okay. Now, with regard to the gun that you've been describing to the jury that you purchased, the 22, is this similar or dissimilar to the gun that you purchased April 16, 2013 at True Value Hardware?
Similar.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, similar.
Okay. And when you say it's similar, is there anything different about this, either in the size, the shape, the color?
No, sir.
Okay. And now, sir, you indicated that there was certain paperwork that you had to fill out, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And Your Honor, if I could use the overhead, please. So I'm just going to show you a document that was marked as exhibit number 394. Do you recognize the type of document this is, sir? It's just to your left.
Yeah.
Okay, and have you ever had to fill in one of these documents in the past?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the term a Form 4473? Do you know what that is?
No, sir.
Okay, let me just zoom in here a little bit. Just going to direct your attention at the top of this document at box number 1. Do you see certain information there, sir?
Yeah.
And do you recognize that, that handwriting?
Yes.
Whose handwriting is that?
Mine.
Do you recall, sir, this being a document that you prepared on April 16th, of 2013 at the True Value store?
Yeah.
And let me just, this information here, was that information that was accurate at that time? In terms of where you lived?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then do you recall filling out, or answering certain questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just going to the second page. And later, there was certain information that you had to read and sign, a certification.
Yes, sir.
And did you do that?
Yes, sir.
And the date, I indicated April 16th, is that accurately reflected on this document?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'm going to the third page of this document. Do you recognize information related to your sale, the purchase, that you made of the .22 caliber firearm?
Yes, sir.
Is that accurately reflected along that top line?
Yes, sir.
And what kind of firearm did you purchase?
22.
Okay, that's the caliber.
Yes.
And what about the manufacturer?
Yeah, Hernandez.
Okay. And there was a certain model number, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And what about, is there a serial number that was listed?
Yes, sir.
So I'm just going to... I'm just going to show you this here, sir. Ken. See that serial number on the page? Is that
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Can you read that for us, please?
1144296.
Okay. And with regard to the, that item, the 22 that I had just shown you, the item I showed you at the sidebar, you see that?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And you recognize that as the same or different?
I'm saying.
Sort of information that you had provided, you indicated there were a couple of IDs.
Yes, sir.
Is that accurately reflected here, a driver's license and also a license?
Yes, sir.
Concealed?
Yep.
And then ultimately, does this accurately reflect the receipt for the purchase of that?
Yes, sir.
And does it show $185.19?
Yes, sir.
And how did you pay that?
Cash.
That was cash?
Yes, sir.
Now, how long did that transaction take? How long were you at True Value Hardware Store?
I would say about 30 minutes.
Okay. And how long were you in the company of Oscar Hernandez during that time?
You mean at the store?
I'm sorry?
At the store?
Yes, sir.
I mean, he was there, so I mean, but 15 to 30 minutes.
Okay. Now, at some point, did you, after you purchased the firearm, did you leave?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall what you did with the firearm?
When I bought the firearm, I put it in the back of my car in the back seat. Then once I got home, I put it in the trunk.
And when you say you put it in your trunk, was that the trunk of a car that you owned?
Yes.
And what kind of car was that?
Malibu.
Okay. And when you put it in your trunk, this would have been, was that on that same date?
Yes.
What date would that have been then?
April 16th.
And what did you do after April 16th with that firearm, the .22 caliber Hernandez?
Didn't do anything with it, sir.
Okay, so after you purchased it, did you use it
No,
ever?
sir.
I'm sorry?
No, sir.
Did you ever then possess it on your person?
No, sir.
Okay, so what happened after you put it in the trunk of your car?
After I put it in my car, that was the last time I seen it in the back of my trunk.
When you say it was the last time you saw it, how long after you purchased that .22 caliber Hernandez from True Value Hardware did you put it in the trunk of your car?
Say that again, sir.
I'm sorry. How long after? So from the time you walked out of the store with the .22 Hernandez, how long before you actually put it in that trunk?
When I got home, sir.
And how long was that? How long does it take you to go from True Value Hardware to your home?
Roughly 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. So approximately 5 to 10 minutes after you purchased this firearm, were you at your home?
Yes.
And once you arrived at your home, what did you do with this firearm?
I put it in my trunk, sir.
Okay. When you put it in your trunk, that car that you owned, the Malibu,
Yes, sir.
whose car? Was it just your car?
Yeah, it's just my car.
Did anyone else drive your car?
Meaning right then or just in general?
Well, let me ask you this. You had a key to your car?
Yes.
And did anyone else have a key to your car?
My mother.
Okay. So outside of you and your mother having keys, did anyone else have a key to your car?
No, sir.
So within 5 or 10 minutes of arriving home and putting that firearm in the trunk of your car, when was the next time you either recovered it or saw it?
Say it again, sir.
Sure. When is the next time you saw that item, the firearm, in the trunk?
You mean last time I saw the gun?
Yes, the gun, I'm sorry.
Last time I saw it was when I put it in my trunk.
Okay. But did you ever go back to try and recover it or see it or handle it or?
No, sir.
So I think you indicated you purchased it because of crime and concerns for your safety in the neighborhood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when is the next time that you used it or handled it or kept it on your person?
I never used it, sir.
Okay. So how long did you leave it in your trunk?
I just put it in my trunk.
Okay. And okay. And how long did it remain in your trunk?
It
if you know?
remained, I honestly, I don't know.
Okay. Well, at some point, do you learn it's not there anymore?
Yeah.
When do you learn that?
When agents came to my house,
When you say agents came to your house, what agents?
ATF agents.
Okay. When did they come to your house?
I don't remember.
Do you recall it being, at some point, did you learn about a homicide that had occurred in North Attleboro, Massachusetts?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall it being sometime after that, within a short time after that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When they came to your house, did they have a conversation with you about this particular gun?
Yes, sir.
And as a result of that, did they ask you to recover it?
What do you mean by recovery?
To go and get it, to show them that you had this?
No, sir.
Okay. What did you, okay, well, did you go out to your car?
No, because they would just like come down to the department and answer some questions.
Okay. Did you go down and speak to them?
Yes, sir.
At some point, did you make an effort to go and collect your gun from your trunk?
By this time, I hadn't realized it was stolen because when they came to my house, they was like, your gun was found at this murder scene and stuff like that.
But how did you know your gun was gone if you hadn't gone to your trunk?
I didn't know it was loaned until they came and told me that my weapon was in Massachusetts.
Okay, but my question is, did you then go to your trunk to actually try and recover your gun?
No, sir, because they told me to follow them to the station.
Okay. So at some point, there's an indication that your gun has been found in Massachusetts?
Yes.
Do you ever go back to look in your trunk?
No, sir.
Did, at some point, so when did you first learn your gun was gone?
When the ATF agents informed me that it was at a murder scene.
Did you make any inspection of your car, the trunk area of your car?
It's been asked and answered.
I'm sorry, just the condition of the trunk, like from the outside, just looking at the back of your trunk. Did you, after this time that you met with the ATF, did you go back and just make an observation of the condition of your trunk?
Yeah, sure. I looked in my trunk.
Okay. Was there any damage that you noted or looked that like it had been pried open or broken into?
No, sir.
Were you aware of any theft that had occurred to your car?
No, sir.
Objection is sustained to the formative question.
Okay. What, if any, damage had occurred to your vehicle, particularly the trunk area, between the time you purchased that firearm and the time the ATF came to visit you?
What are you asking me?
I'm just asking you, what, if any, damage did you notice to your car, the trunk area of your car, during that approximately 2-month period?
There was no damage, sir.
Okay. Had you learned of any attempted break or into your car?
No, sir.
Objection sustained. The answer so stricken.
During this time, you've indicated you had a key and your mother had a key. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Do you know of anybody else who had access to your car?
You mean by having a key?
Either a key or you loaning your car to somebody?
Yes. I let friends hold my car.
Okay. And do you recall loaning your car, or did you ever loan your car to Oscar Hernandez?
Once.
I'm sorry?
Just once.
Once? And when did you loan him the car?
Don't remember.
Okay, well, how long after you purchased the firearm, the gun?
What do you mean?
How long? Either days, weeks, or months
Did I let him hold my car?
that you had loaned him your car?
I don't remember, sir.
Okay. How long before the ATF had come to visit you do you recall loaning your car to Oscar Hernandez?
I don't remember.
And after the ATF had come to visit you, yes or no, did you have any subsequent conversation with Oscar Hernandez?
No, sir.
Now, do you know Oscar Hernandez's nickname?
Yes.
What is it?
Papu.
Papu?
Papu.
Papu?
Yeah.
If I could have a moment, Your Honor, please. Now, sir, you have appeared here today under a grant of immunity. Is that true?
Yes.
We instruct you that you can take into consideration the grant of immunity in assessing the credibility or believability of a witness who is granted immunity. A grant of immunity means the witness has been ordered by a court not to testify and cannot be prosecuted for or on account of any matter about which he has testified except for perjury committed while the witness is testifying here in court. The testimony of an immunized witness should be scrutinized with particular care.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, do you recall purchasing ammunition for this firearm, the .22 Hernandez?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you recall purchasing a box for it, a gun case?
A box for a gun case.
Yes. Did you have a gun case for it?
They give you a box when you get the gun.
So did it come with a box?
Yes.
So I think you had indicated earlier there was a purpose for which you were buying this firearm. Did you ever use it for that purpose?
No, sir.
Can you explain why you didn't?
Majority because I was working. I worked 10 to 16 hours out of the day.
Okay.
And then after work, I usually volunteer as a basketball coach in my middle school.
Okay, well,
Or
I think
do
you'd
go to the
indicated,
park.
I'm sorry?
I said, or I do actually go to like a rec park or like just play basketball or football.
Okay, so had anything changed with regard to your feeling about the crime in the neighborhood and concerns for your safety?
What do you mean by that, sir?
Well, I think you had indicated that you purchased this because of crime.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Had anything changed after you purchased it so that you didn't need this gun anymore?
Nothing didn't change, but I feel like I still need it. But I don't have issues with nobody, so
Okay.
I don't just.
Okay, so as a result, you purchased the gun but never carried it on your person, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you never got ammunition for it?
No, sir.
What about a holster?
Objection sustained.
Did you buy anything else for your gun?
No, sir.
If I could have a moment, Your Honor, please. Do you have any information what happened to the gun after you put it in the trunk?
No, sir.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, how you doing?
Could you tell us what kind of work you were doing in April of 2013?
Youth care worker.
Youth jail work?
Youth care worker.
Youth care work?
Yes,
What
sir.
is that? What did that involve?
Basically, we make sure, because we have this is level 8 and level 10 program for youth inmates, kids that have sexual charges, or kids that have I want to say like burglary or gun charges, murder charges. We deal with those type of kids.
So you work for a detention facility,
Yes, sir.
and is that in South Florida?
Yes, sir.
And that's part of the Florida correctional system, or
Yes.
for juveniles?
Yes, sir.
And are you essentially employed full-time as a
Yes, sir.
correctional officer offering services to youth that have been detained?
Yes, sir.
And it sounds like these are youth that are have some serious charges,
Yes, sir.
sexual assaults,
Yes, sir.
or firearms charges,
Yes, sir.
or assault charges.
Yes, sir.
And how long have you had that job?
April 5th, April 2nd, it'll be 4 years.
So you had been doing that for a couple of years before you purchased this 22.
Yes, sir.
And are you still working there?
Yes, sir.
Now, I take it that you don't carry a firearm in the course of your work with the young people.
No, sir.
Now, you also said, I think in response to a question Mr. McCauley asked, that you were working 10 to 16 hours a day.
Yes, sir.
Was that at the detention facility?
Yes, sir.
And you also said that you did some volunteer work as a basketball coach.
Yes, sir.
And where was that?
At my high school. I mean, not my high school. My old middle school.
Your old middle school?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that in Belglade?
Yes, sir.
And I think you also said that you played basketball and football at a park from time to time.
Yes.
Now, do you know Aaron Hernandez?
No, sir.
Have you ever met him?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you, that's all.
Just briefly, Your Honor. Oscar Hernandez Did he work in a similar type of job that you worked?
Objection, Your Honor.
Okay.
If I can just rephrase, Your Honor, can you describe
I'm
what
going to
kind
ask
of
you
work?
to limit yourself to the scope of cross.
I'm sorry?
Just be sure to limit yourself to the
Yes.
scope of cross and don't ask leading questions.
You describe the work that you do, is that
Yeah.
right? What, if any, work did you know Oscar to do?
Objection.
If you personally saw him at work, you may respond. Otherwise, not what you may have heard from anyone, including Mr. Oscar Hernandez. You may not respond.
Yeah, I don't know.
You didn't know what kind of work he was doing?
No, sir.
Objection sustained. You may answer whether or not you saw him ever this time working, not what you may or may not have heard from anyone else.
No, I didn't see him working.
Can we come to the sidebar, please? Thank you.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
You may step down.
And if I could call Daniel Blithfield, please.
Daniel Blithfield? Face the clerk, raise your right hand.
You solemnly swear your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Have a seat, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Would you state your full name, please?
Yes, Daniel Bleifeld,
Could you spell your last name?
Bliffeld,
And where are you from, sir?
South Florida,
And how long have you lived in South Florida?
since I was 8.
Are you working?
Yes,
And just what type of work do you do?
auto transport, shipping cars.
And how long have you been involved in that business?
5.5 to 6 years.
And what's the name of the company that you work for?
Car Delivery USA,
How long have you worked for that company?
5.5 years, 6 years.
Now, prior to, at some point, were you also involved in the business, or did Car Delivery USA also have All-Day Auto Transport, Inc.?
Yes, correct.
Were they involved in a similar business?
Yeah, it's the same company, we just changed the name.
Okay. And was that company in operation back in the spring of 2013?
Yes, it was.
And just with regard, if you could just explain the nature of your business, how does your business operate?
Basically, people that want to ship their cars cross-country will contact us. We're a broker, so we connect them with the trucking company.
Okay. And so when you say cross-country, is it generally long-distance trucking?
I mean, it could be anywhere in the United States, but yeah, I mean, we do anywhere, so state to state.
Okay. And how do people then make arrangements to ship a car? Just to walk us through that process.
Okay, either, they'll find us online or a website, they'll give us a call, that they want to ship a car. So one of my agents will answer the phone, get the customer's information, we get their pickup address, delivery address, their credit card, and then what we'll do is we'll start looking for a driver.
Okay. And do you have drivers located?
Throughout the whole United States.
And as a result of that, once the arrangement is made through your company, is a driver assigned?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Now, is there certain paperwork or documentation that you prepare in the course of making such an order?
Correct, yes.
And just describe what type of documents do you prepare?
What it is called an order form. It's just pretty much the customer's information, their pickup address, delivery address, the price and stuff like that. And then we'll email that to the customer.
Okay. And in terms of how a transaction is completed, is this done in person or over the phone?
Over the phone.
Now, just directing your attention back to, well, let me ask you this first. Did you receive a subpoena to appear here today?
Yes, I did.
And were there certain documents that you were requested to bring?
Yes.
And did you bring them?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have them on you?
Yes.
Can I just see those, sir?
Yes.
Sir, I'm just going to show you the 4 documents that you provided here today. Do you recognize that as the first one?
Yes.
That's page 2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
and page 4.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. And these documents relate to the shipment of a particular vehicle, is that right?
Correct, yes.
And these are the documents that you referred to that are prepared in the ordinary course of your business?
Yes.
Are they made in good faith?
Yes.
At the time or near the time when that order is prepared?
Yes.
And that's prior to the litigation of this matter, is that true?
Correct, yes.
And just one thing I'll point out, there's some credit card information on the back page, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and Your Honor, subject to agreement, we'll strike that from this exhibit, but I would offer this as an exhibit, please.
No objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. Next exhibit. Your Honor, if I could use the overhead. Sir, I'm just going to have you look to your left. There's a monitor there. And I'm putting now what's been marked 396. Is that the first page of your record, sir?
Yes, it is.
Now, just beginning at the top, You indicated the business is now referred to as Car Delivery USA Inc.
Yes.
And does that reflect All Day Auto Transporting
Yes.
as well? Okay, which it was at the time.
Yes.
Now, with regard to this first block of information, just it says shipper information. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's pretty much the customer's, their first name, last name. They put their address, cell phone, stuff, and their email address.
Okay. And you say that the manner in which business comes into you is how?
Either they fill out a quote online or they call us. They find us on, on our website and they call in.
And is this, in terms of the information that would be collected regarding a potential transport, is this contained in this section here?
Yes, it is.
And then just going over to the second area, does that reflect certain pricing and shipping information?
Yes, it is.
Okay, can you just describe, would this be typical, a particular price quote that would be given?
Yeah. When they call in, we give them a price of how much it is to ship, and that's where it would be posted.
Okay, and so here there was a price quote of how much, sir?
Total was $895.
Okay, and then it indicates just below that what?
What they have to pay the driver. We take a credit card fee of $195. Driver gets $700, and then the customer will tell us what date they want the vehicle to be shipped.
Okay, so just with regard to this document, was there a completed order made for the shipment of a vehicle?
Yes, there was.
And was there some payment that was received by your company?
Yes, there was.
And how much was that?
$195 plus 8. It was $203.99 total.
Okay. And is there a balance that then is due?
Yes, to the driver on delivery.
Okay, and is that referred to in this area here, block number 2?
Yes.
And where is that noted?
COD amount.
Okay, and COD stands for?
Cash on delivery.
Okay, and that's to be paid to?
The driver on delivery.
Now, at the time that payment has been received, is there then a date scheduled for pickup of a vehicle?
Yeah, once we locate the driver, then we would assign it to a carrier, and then, we would put those dates on.
Okay, so if you could just explain to us first available date.
That's the date, 4/23/2013. That's the date the customer called in to want it shipped. We found a driver for the 25th.
Okay, and so within, that's approximately 2 days?
Correct.
And then was there an estimated delivery date of that vehicle?
Yeah, 4/30/2013.
Okay. Now, the next thing is area 3 here, that again refers to payments received,
Correct.
and the method of payment was what?
For the deposit, it was by a Visa credit card.
Okay. And that amount was?
$203.99.
Okay. Now, going down, in terms of the, it says transit directions, is there certain information in that area?
Yeah, that's where we get the pickup address, the customer's name and number, where the driver's going to pick up the vehicle from.
Okay, and what is the information where this vehicle was going to be picked up?
From Belgrades, 301 Northwest Avenue.
And what is after Northwest Avenue?
I.
And that's the capital letter I?
Yes.
Okay. And there's a phone number there as well?
Yes.
And what number is that?
561-755-0678.
Okay. Now, is there information relating to, that would be captured when the order is placed as to where this vehicle is going to be shipped?
Yes.
Okay, and is that shown here?
Yes.
And what is the destination information?
22 Ronald C. Meyer Drive, North Attleboro, Massachusetts.
Okay, and there's a name there,
Yes.
and what is that name?
Gion Jackson?
Okay, is there a phone number listed as well?
Yes, there is.
What is that number?
860-502-2593.
Okay. And so the information contained for the destination would be that information and then to be delivered on, what's the estimated delivery date?
The 4/30/2013.
Now, just going down, what type of vehicle was being sent?
It was a 1999 Toyota Camry.
Okay, and it was described by size or shape?
Yeah, just a sedan, midsize.
And then, again, you had indicated in terms of the deposit was made how, sir?
Over the phone.
Okay, and in what form was it? Was it a cash or credit card?
Credit card, yes.
And do you remember the type of credit card?
Visa.
Now, sir, just for purpose of completeness, just at the bottom, it talks about terms and conditions.
Yes.
Okay, and that goes 1, 2, 3, and then on to the next page, all the way down to 9, paragraph 9 there, and then COD instructions, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And the COD instructions of this transaction indicated what?
All COD payments shall be in the form of cash or certified funds upon delivery of your vehicle.
Okay. Now going to page 3, you recognize this document, sir?
Yes, that's our dispatch sheet.
Okay, and just tell us about the dispatch sheet.
That's pretty much what we do is we send that to the driver, and he has the information. So that is what the carrier gets.
Okay. So after the order is made, it was sent to, does it list a particular company or carrier?
Yeah, carrier.
And what carrier was that?
Premium Transport Inc.
Okay, and where's that located?
That's Holiday, Florida.
And there's certain information with regard to driver and phone, et cetera.
Yes.
And now, is there order information that is sent to your carrier?
The question again?
I'm sorry, on this sheet that you send your carrier, does that indicate the order information?
Yes.
Okay, and that information is what?
Just again, the pickup address, the delivery address, the contact name and numbers on pickup and delivery.
Okay, and then does it talk about the money, the COD money that's due?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And again, is there provision for the vehicle that's to be delivered?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and what about the pickup information?
Yes, correct.
That's also contained here?
Yes.
And delivery, does that appear to be the same as what was on the page before?
Yes.
Okay, and lastly, sir, I'm just placing page 4 of the document you provided. And you recognize this, sir?
Yeah, that's our receipt when we run the credit card.
Okay. And just, that credit card was run on what date? Can you see that?
Yeah, 4/22/2013.
Okay, and how much, well, first of all, what kind of credit card was it?
Visa.
And obviously, the account number's been blanked out, but are there the last 4 digits showing?
Yes, it is.
And those 4 digits are what?
9264.
And was that then approved and debited against that account?
Yes.
Okay, and that amount was?
203.99.
And so as a result of that, was then that order processed by your company?
Yes.
And delivery, was that made?
Well, objection to that, Your Honor.
To your,
Sustained.
okay, do you get a confirmation as a result of, after you place the order?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, and do you know whether that was confirmed in this case?
Well, object to the question.
If you can answer.
Sustained.
Sir, can you answer that question? Do you have personal knowledge of?
It was on the delivery truck, you may answer. Pure.
Well, no, I wasn't on the delivery truck, so I couldn't answer that.
Okay, well, to the extent that those records were sent to your carrier, is that the records that I've just shown you that were provided to a carrier?
They were provided to a carrier, yes.
Okay. Nothing further. Thank you, sir.
Just a quick question. Showing you Exhibit 396. 396. Do you see the payments received? Let me zoom it out a little bit. See the payments received information in Section 3?
Yes,
And it indicates that the amount was $195,
correct.
and the date received was 7/30/13.
Yeah,
Does that appear to be just a mistake,
yes, correct.
so that the payment would have presumably been received on the 22nd of April? Is that how you read these records?
Yes.
Is there a place on here that indicates when the order came in?
No, I would have to check in my system. That's just pretty much the date that the customer called to get the car picked up.
So showing you Exhibit 396, does that indicate when the telephone call came in, or telephone or internet contact came in?
No,
So you don't know when that was?
no.
Okay. And the credit card slip on the end indicates that the credit card was charged on April 22nd, is that right?
Correct, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Just briefly, that credit card transaction indicates the time. Is that true?
No, because we charge it once we find the driver. We don't always have the driver right away,
Okay.
so.
I could just put the overhead, Your Honor, please. 396, that credit card, there was a charge to that credit card on the date of what? Sorry.
4/22.
Okay, and what time?
15:01.
Is that a military time?
Yeah.
Do you know what time that is in civilian time?
No.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I don't have anything else. Thank you.
So you don't charge the card until you have a driver hooked up?
Correct.
So you don't know what time or day even the call came in?
I would have to, I would have to check the system, see.
Okay, thank you.
You may sit down.
Can we back it this time around? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to take a lunch recess at this time. Please keep your mind suspended. Don't discuss the case among yourselves or anyone else.
What all right? Hearing, please.